of the American continents, Europeans were involved with slavery. Not African slaves, but American Indians.
And they were both Israelites. You know, is it a coincidence that these so-called Indians went into slavery underneath the white man? So-called white men, the Edomites? No, it's not a coincidence. It happened. Why? Because the curses, matter of fact, get Deuteronomy 28 and I believe it's 45. Well, these curses that fall upon you. And it's not a coincidence. It's something that happened. Why? Because these are curses that fell upon all of the nation of Israel. But the head tribe, the ones that were entrusted with the leadership of the nation, they suffered the most. Why? Because they were I mean, it was prophesied and it was going to happen anyway. But when you have an older son, he has a responsibility of taking care of his younger siblings. So Judah, being the head tribe, they were supposed to be an example to the rest of the tribes, and they weren't. And neither was any of the other tribes. So that's why that curse came upon all of them. But the main ones that came upon was Judah, mainly, then Benjamin and Levi, and then the other tribes. Go ahead, brother.
Right. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed. Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which he commanded thee.
Which is all the curses that's in this book. In the book of Deuteronomy 28 and other scriptures. Go ahead.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign
I'm sorry, go ahead.
and for a wonder.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder. What type of sign? To let you know that you're the Israelites. And for a wonder. Wondering why are we in this condition? Because we broke the law, statutes, and the commandments. Because I know there's people out there that are in a low condition that don't know that they're Israelites, and they're wondering, then why am I in this situation? Why was I born to this? Why am I in this position or predicament? You know? They think like that, but they really don't understand why. Go ahead.
And upon thy seed forever.
And upon thy seed forever. Go ahead.
Because thou served not the Lord thy power with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things.
And that's the reason why these things fell upon the nation of Israel. Because they didn't serve the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, with all their heart, mind, and soul. You know? That's why these things fell upon them. Go ahead.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
Now, if you serve somebody, it means that you're their servant or their slave.
Yeah.
So what we're not the so-called Native American Indians, Seminole Indians, the so-called Tainos, Boricuas, the Incas, the Mayans, you know, and all those different other so-called Indians throughout from Canada all the way down. Were they not servants to their enemies? Yeah. So what does that mean? That means that they were Israelites. That's what it means. Go ahead.
Yep. It says, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
And you see pictures of Judah and the other tribes with yokes of irons upon their neck. Mainly Judah, Benjamin and Levi. You know, but they did that to the so-called Latino tribes and Native American Indian tribes. Yep. Because you see it when you see that series, the Borgias, they show you how they brought a Taino as a slave before the crown of England, crown of Spain, and he had shackles all over him, from head to toe. You know, letting you know that was something that happened. But the documentation of it, a lot of it has been destroyed. So there's very few documents on it, but there are documents.
There are documents on it. The thing is, they don't speak on it.
Right.
It's for you, but the Spirit worked on through this brother and other brothers to get these documents, man, because that's actual history. See, when you go into Revelations, what is the 18th chapter? It tells you at the end how the earth is going to help the woman.
For 12th chapter.
The 12th chapter, Dawada, Shalakia Akim. In the 12th chapter, in the latter verses, it tell you how the earth is going to help the woman.
Yep.
So that's the spirit that the Lord is bringing these things. This wasn't taught nowhere. And Esau's the devil. The devil ain't going to teach you the truth.
That's right.
That's why you Jakes out there, you got to go and do some research, man. Instead of sitting up there, and a lot of you niggas, all you do is sit there and try to debunk the elders of GMS. Oh, GMS is going off. You sitting there wasting all that dumb, stupid ass time, wasting energy, when you should really be researching the things that the brothers are saying, because what we bringing out through the Spirit of the Lord is the truth. Why you think that the Lord still got us out here pushing this word going strong?
That's right.
Whereas all these clowns, and seeing you guys should be taking notice of this thing. All these clowns that come up against us saying, oh, that's not right, this and that, that's not right, that's not right. Oh, where are they?
Yep.
Where are they?
Where all their works at?
But
all
black,
these great
yeah.
videos and all this work out there on the streets and the lanes and the highways, the hedges. Where's all their works
Where are
at?
they? And I ain't talking about them little fucking nasty trolls that be on the internet. They ain't got nothing else to do. All right, they work for Esau, for the Illuminati. All right, they be in their fucking room jerking off on a laptop trying to troll around GMS. I ain't talking about them clowns, man, who you won't see them. And like I said, if any of you niggas is real, you gonna go out there in the highways and the byways with what you believe.
That's right. You're gonna bring it out.
And if you ain't doing that, then just shut the fuck up, man.
Yep, that's right. I got something real quick.
Hey, Sly, I don't mean to get into
Nah, it's all right.
that
No,
level, man.
well, you know, you
really,
get
man,
emotional. Why? Because
yeah, because fuck you niggas, man.
exactly.
Really, fuck you. It's all about the elect, man. We in the time the Most High is destroying America, man. And you fucking faggot ass niggas want to be bitches, man. Some of you niggas talking about, oh, the name of the Most High is a hot. You stupid, dumbass fucking niggas, man.
Yep.
Oh, the tribes ain't the Ephraim. Man, fuck you niggas, man. The Most High gonna sweep you away too right here in America, man.
That's right.
And then, and like Proverbs, the Most High, he stretched his hand out, man. When the Lord have us putting these videos out, it's not for you to be coming up trying to debunk it or whatnot, you dumb fucking retarded motherfuckers. It's for you to learn, man, and get salvations. But you pushing the Most High's hand away, man.
But that's okay. You know why? Because you're not part of the elect.
That's it.
This is only for the elect. Only the elect are gonna get it. And you know, we do get emotional because, you know, this is something that we believe in. You know, this is something that we wholeheartedly believe in, and that we're fighting to go and out there and teach. So you do get emotional. You know, when Yahweh Shai kicked them niggas in the ass when they were selling in the temple, he didn't do that because he was just such a sweet guy. And he said, you know what, let me just kick these guys in the ass just because, you know, I'm so happy today. He did that because they inflamed him. You know, and that happens. But you know what? That's good. Keep doing what you're doing because you're not stopping anything. You're not stopping the progress. You're just hindering those that the Lord doesn't want. Which is
a part of the prophecy anyway, so you still fulfilling your lot as being a wicked ass nigga, a false prophet.
So I'm gonna read a couple of scriptures to back up Elder Menatazak. This is 2 Ezra 5:1. Nevertheless, as concerning the tokens, behold, the day shall come, that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in a great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden. And
which the way it's the Lord. And when Yahweh Shai came, that's why he spoke in parables, man. Because this knowledge is hid from you niggas, man. You fucking internet troll, low-life scum niggas out there, man.
Yep.
You wicked-ass Israelites. Thinking you got the truth. The way of truth is hid from you niggas, man.
That's right. It says, and the land shall be barren of faith. Now this is 2 Ezra.
Right, and then the Lord said when he comes, shall he find faith? Because you know why? You got a lot of guys that basically at one time they were in this knowledge, but now they left because why? They got tired of waiting, man.
Yep.
They ain't have no faith.
Yep.
That's why the Lord said, woe unto you that lost patience, man. Like Lahab, fucking Yoshiman.
Yoshiman.
They try to pop up on the scene. Here it is, you niggas fucking was played out in the fucking 80s, 90s. you fucking niggas gonna try to pop up on the scene like you brand new niggas. Then the Spirit got on Elder Tahar and all the camps of Israel to put you on total blast. Now you don't fucking vanish, man, with your bullshit, man. Because it was just that bullshit, man.
Yep, that's right. So now the truth is coming out. And the men back then that were scorned, that were looked at as F troop,
right? That
was said that they were nothing. You know, oh, you on the Elder Tahar.
Yeah.
Why you so tacky? Why you so tacky? They looked down on
Well,
Elder
guess
Tahar.
what? That was that mustard seed, man.
That's right.
Yeah, because you know, and y'all brothers heard Elder Tahar and the brothers tell the stories, man. How they were bringing them to council, trying to take
Yep.
camps from them, talk shit about them. And then when Elder Tahar came dealing with the brothers in Connecticut, they were scoffing at him and talking all kind of shit about him.
Yep.
Well, guess what? That was the Lord working with that brother, man. That was that mustard seed, man.
That's right.
Because through F Troop, right under the spirit of the Lord dealing with Elder Tahar, look, it was that mustard seed. Now look at all the different camps and stuff that came out of it, man.
Yeah, it didn't. First of all, okay, it didn't come from Lahab.
Yep.
It didn't come from Yashawan. It didn't come from Yeshaya. It didn't come from all them clowns that was back in the
old
main
clowns,
school. Them
Kazak.
old clowns, Kazak, Yum Yun,
Hell, yeah, them
Mayalab,
niggas,
Yasha, Nathaniel.
Nick
none of that.
Satan, none of them
You know?
niggas, man.
This truth came. If you want to go back to the core of GMS and this time, going back to beginning with one man, that was Elder Tahar.
That's right.
You know, and then the rest of the brothers, beginning with Elder Gabar, Elder Rakah, and the brothers at so-called Connecticut.
Yeah, this brother.
You know?
Yep.
You know, that's the core of GMS. This is the way the Lord pushed His word out to gain access to the whole world.
Hey, because if I may say this, brother, and I was meditating on this, and I say it a few times, man. Back during that time, when you go into leading up to the year 2000, all right, all these other Israelite niggas that's coming out there now, they wasn't going out. They stopped going out teaching, man. A lot of them went back into the world. General Gehenna, the king of the 2/3 club, you was straight up in the world. Elder Tahar caught you out there in the building wearing a fucking suit and a bit. You know, you was going on some business meeting, and you was basically bigging the Elder Tahar up.
Yep.
About the Most High need more good men like you. Now you on the video slandering them, man, because you a damn liar, you a devil, you a demon, you sold out.
But the Most High knows, the Spirit knows.
Yep,
They know exactly what took place in those days and at that time.
that's right.
So you can say what you want to say. You can lie to men, but you can't lie to the Spirit. Remember what Peter said to Ananias and Sapphira.
Yep.
You could lie to men, but you can't lie to the Spirit of the Most High, because the Most High knows exactly what you did.
And we was there. We remember, man. It was a couple of cats going out, scattered, going out. So, but for the most part, all of you dudes stopped going out.
Yep.
The year 2000 came in. You niggas went into the world.
Yep, you went back into the abyss.
Into the abyss, and then y'all still y'all know it. Y'all still seen us out there. We never stopped.
That's right.
Y'all seen this out there, man. From you 14th Street homos, all you niggas, man. Y'all seen us out there, and y'all like, oh shit.
Yep.
Then eventually, y'all, years later, you Johnny come lately, then y'all try to go out there, but the Spirit wasn't with y'all, and y'all started teaching bullshit, man.
That's right. That's right. But
Slack,
I mean, that was a little history lesson.
Yep.
So now back to the topic. Bring out a quick point, and then we're gonna read on with the with that information. This is 2nd Ezra 6:28. It says, "As for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome, and the truth, which hath been so long without fruit, shall be declared." And it's being declared right now. What does the word declare mean? De is of, and clare or clarare is or if I'm saying it correctly, is to make clear. Of clear. In other words, to make clear. So when you declare something, you're making it clear. So it says the truth that had been so long without fruit shall be declared. That black movement was played out all the way back with Marcus Garvey, and even before it's played out. The Muslims, the 5%ers, all them, it's all played out. Now the truth at the end, give me 1 Corinthians 4:9. The truth at the end is being brought out by who? The true disciples, the true prophets, the true apostles, the true men of the Lord, that were going to come in the last days and bring out the truth and let the truth flourish. Not because of us, but because of the Spirit of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. So go ahead, brother.
Right, 1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 9. For I think that the Most High has set forth us, the apostles, last, as it were appointed to death.
Right, and if it was up to the people out there, we would be put to death. But you know what? It's of the grace and mercy of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai that we're not put to death. Go ahead.
It says, as it were appointed to death. For we are made a spectacle unto the world, and to angels, and to men.
So we're made a spectacle. That's why GMS is the most hated Israelite group out there. What other group out there is more hated than GMS group among Israel? None.
Yeah.
Why? Because the Most High said that we shall be made a spectacle unto the world, unto angels, and unto men.
That's right.
All right? Why? Because we're bringing 100% truth. You guys don't like us saying that, but so what? It's the truth. All right? So that was it on that, right?
Okay. Let me read it.
Okay,
Yeah.
read on.
It says, "We are fools for Yahweh Shai's sake, but ye are wise in Yahweh Shai. We are weak, but ye are strong.
That's right.
Ye are honorable, but we are despised."
Right. And basically we're despised.
Right, but now, being that we're being despised and everything and dishonored, guess what? The brethren, the fruit,
That's right.
they're being honorable.
Yep.
You see?
They're
And they're being
strengthened.
made strengthened, and they're being made wise.
Yep.
So a lot of them
And
niggas,
they're being made honorable.
right? So we doing the work, man.
And you
You
know
us
what?
doing the work,
Sorry.
but you niggas is talking about us and making videos and talking shit about us. Guess what? You got Israel that's waking up, man, and them brothers is waking up and they coming strong. Man, when you look at the camps, all them brothers in the camps is being strong.
Yeah. So now check it out. Now you have all these scoffers out there that's bringing their wayward doctrine, but the tribes are still coming together among the different camps. Now don't get me wrong, you do have niggas out there among the GMS camps that are scumbags, that are lowlifes, that are grimy niggas, that ain't no damn good, you know, that are scumbags.
Right.
You know, and we see that, you know, but you know what? Like Paul said, whether in pretense or in sincerity, Yahweh Shai is preached, you know?
Right.
So the word's still going out. And when the time comes, the Most High is going to do away with you guys in GMS that call yourselves men of the Lord, that are really bullshit artists, and the Most High is going to move you out the way. Because you're not really sincere about this. You're just about the fame. You're just about the name. You know, you're just about being out there as a show, vainglory. You're in this thing for the wrong reasons, and the Most High is going to take you out.
That's right.
So now, let's go back to the information. You know?
All right, so now,
I mean, you know, because, hey, that's how the Spirit works. You know, you try to stay on topic, but then the Lord wants something to come out. You got to let the Spirit flow. Go ahead.
it says, Europeans were involved with slavery, not African slaves, but American Indians.
Go ahead.
Ojibwa, which is American Indians as slaves.
All right, so that's the term Ojibwa. O-J-I-B-W-A.
Okay. It says, first, some background. Social scientists often describe three forms of slavery: chattel slavery, debt slavery, and contract slavery. What I'm about to describe is chattel slavery.
Right, which is chattel slavery, which is basically like you have a bunch of cattle, you know, and things that belong to you, and you do whatever you please with them. Then you had debt slavery, which somebody that was in debt, they became a slave to you, or like an indentured servant. And then you had contractual slavery, which is somebody that you hired to be a slave for a certain amount of money. You know? And that was just like a brief description. If you want to know more about it, you know, like Elder Tahar always says, it's worth a Google, right? So go ahead, brother.
Right, it says, in this type of slavery, a person is captured and then sold into permanent servitude. In this type of slavery, the legal term own applies.
Right, that's dealing with chattel slavery, you know, as you being like a private property. Like sometimes, you know, you had wild horses and you would catch those wild horses, and when you caught those wild horses, they belonged to who? The ones that caught them, and they would put a brand on them to let them know that they were the owners. That's chattel slavery. Go ahead.
Right, it says, in chattel slavery, persons are synonymous with property.
Yep.
As chattel slaves have no rights and are not paid for their labor. They also have no control over their bodies and may be required to provide sexual services.
And that happened a lot. You know, you had them fucking crackers, them Edomites that would have sex, not just with the women, or not, did I say sex? They raped not only the women, but certain of the men. Because you Edomites are freaks, man. You're nothing but a bunch of scumbags. You can have a whole bunch of women. You can have as much sex as you want with all these women, but you gotta have men. Because you're a goddamn faggot, man, by nature.
Yeah.
Okay?
It says, they also have no control over their bodies and may be required to provide sexual service. Europeans came to the Americas looking for wealth. Initially, they were not really trying to establish colonies for their surplus population, but to extract wealth from the resources which they found. In addition to gold and silver, the Europeans found wealth in the slave trade. The slave trade by the 15th century was well established in Europe.
Wait a minute. It said the what? Read that again.
It says
The slave trade what?
It said the slave trade by the 15th century was well established in Europe.
So now that shows you that when them Europeans came over to this side of the world, you know, going back to what, 1492,
Yep.
from that point on till the bulk of the so-called African slaves were brought here, slavery was well established in Europe.
Yeah.
Why? Because they were bringing these people, these indigenous people of this
Right.
world, which was our forefathers,
Yep.
over to that side of the world in slave ships, chained up. I mean, I'm pretty sure the conditions weren't as severe as Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, but we don't know the particulars. So it could have been just as bad. But we know for a fact that Judah, Benjamin, and Levi suffered the worst kind of slavery. Why? Because they were the head tribes.
Yep.
Okay? And we're not taking nothing away from that. That's evident in the scriptures.
Done.
You know, and that's evident in history. But there's certain other historical things that prove who the other tribes are that are not really talked about or mentioned.
Yeah, because the curses didn't just fall on Judah, Benjamin, and Levi.
Exactly.
They fell on the whole 12, the whole nation.
Right, because
Most High put the curses on the whole nation.
right, because the Most High said that wherever you go, them curses are going to
Should
follow
follow
you,
you.
and they're going to be on you and your children forever.
Generation, yep.
Generation after generation. So until the Lord pulls those curses off of us, we're going to be in that predicament. As it is to this day, almost 2013.
Yeah.
No, today being November what? November 12th,
Yeah.
2012? Go ahead.
By the year 675, there was a well-established trade in slaves in Europe, with the Frisians occupying a major role of slave merchants.
Right, so slavery was around for a while, you know, but the slave trade that's going on here in this, what was going on here in the so-called Americas, went all the way up from the late 1400s, all the way up until sometime in the 1800s, when the so-called Emancipation Proclamation, which is a joke, was put into place. The 13th Amendment was set into place, and all that crap. But that's another lesson, you know, for another time, you know. But go ahead, brother.
It
And
said
Lord's will, we'll tackle that.
about 750, the slave trade expanded. It was driven in part by the Islamic world, centered in Cairo, Damascus, and we jump straight
Yeah,
to
jump down to right here, the Vikings soon, right here.
jump down to the next paragraph.
It should be.
Okay,
This going into some of the history on slavery, but we want to jump to the main points of what we're dealing with today.
done.
Right?
It said, it should be kept in mind that Spain at this time was an Islamic country and a major buyer of slaves.
Which were Jakes
Yep.
that were ruling at the time. They kicked other Jakes out of that land. Go ahead.
In 1492, the Catholic monarchs of country and major buyers of Slovakia. In 1492, the Catholic monarchs of Spain, Isabella and Fernando, unified Spain and drove out the Muslims. At the same time, Spanish ships began seeking out wealth in the Americas.
Yep, Spanish ships. Go ahead.
The Spanish involvement in the American Indian slave trade started very early. On his second expedition to the Americas in 1493, Christopher Columbus enslaved over 500 Native Americans and sent them to Spain.
So he enslaved over 500 Native Americans and sent them to Spain. Now keep in mind, like we said, those numbers are small in comparison to Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, but that's just one account of this. So just imagine all the different accounts that took place prior to the so-called Negroes, West Indians, and Puerto Ricans, was Judah, Benjamin, and Levi coming here to American slavery. There was many accounts of all the different tribes, but a lot of the stuff wasn't written down. Why? Because those Spaniards that were doing this thing, they weren't writing it down unless the Lord put the Spirit on certain one of them, which were historians or friars or whatever they were, to write this stuff down. And some of those records they burnt,
Right.
as we dealt with in previous lessons. Go ahead.
Right. It says In addition to the search for gold and other riches, slavery at this time was a major Spanish objective in the New World.
Why? Because that was the whole purpose of the New World Order, was for them, Esau, to find a place on the earth where they can establish their New World Order from. Why do you think that George Bush honored so highly the 500th year of this devil, Christopher Columbus, for so-called discovering the so-called Americas? It was a great explorer. You know, he went on a voyage. You know, he was just so defiant, and so, you know, the motherfucker wasn't defiant. That motherfucker wasn't an explorer. He was just a guy that had maps, that knew about this side of the world, that came over to this side of the world, who was paid off by so-called Jews to come over here to establish a New World Order. There wasn't no big deal about that. There wasn't no great contribution to society that he made. All he did was he just came over here to this side of the world. He was paid off. The crown of England was paid off to send him over here to basically exploit the people that were here, so that they can in turn set up this land to establish a New World Order. That's all it was set up for. And you can read about that in the book of Revelation, the 20th chapter. Go ahead.
In 1495, the Spanish, under the leadership of Columbus, rounded up 1,500 Arawak. They selected 500 to be exported to Spain as slaves. 500 to serve as slaves to the Spanish on the island, and the remaining Indians were released. Columbus proudly boasted to the Spanish monarchs about the slave potential and its economic benefits.
Wait a minute, the slave potential and its economic benefits.
Boasted.
So basically, they already had that. That was just, when he sent those 500 slaves over there, what was that? That was just a little taste of what can be. You know, now eventually in process of time, what happened was that the crown of Spain, as is written in history, they declined slavery, you know, and then I believe those slaves were shipped back. But the point is that slavery didn't stop. It just kept going.
Right, in which a lot of that's bullshit too, because see, you always had slaves, man.
That's right.
You had Esau, which was coming back into power at them times. They were taking down different strongholds and forts. They had control over Spain. All right, and they had slaves, man.
That's right.
They weren't doing the work themselves, man, and they had slaves, people serving them.
That's a reason for somebody to rule.
That was the whole reason, right? And then that was the whole reason why Columbus came over here, man. They weren't trying to discover new lands. They knew about this land already, as we brought out in the other shows.
That's right.
They knew about it. They knew that the tribes was over here, all right, and they were coming, basically, John 10:10.
The thief.
The thief.
Cometh not, but to destroy and to
destroy and to steal.
Yep, and to kill.
And to kill. And that's what they did. When Columbus came over here, John 10:10 is a perfect scripture describing Columbus and the rest of these Edomites, so-called white people.
That's right.
Because when he came over here, what did he do? He destroyed down there in the islands. He stole the actual the brothers down there, the Ephraimites and other tribes down there, sent them back, as we're reading, sent them back over to Spain as slaves. All right, and he killed a lot of the Boricua, Arawak, and Taino Indians back then.
That's right. I got a precept for you, brother.
Okay.
It's Exodus 21:16. And he that stealeth a man.
He that stealeth a man. Did not Columbus steal? Columbus didn't just steal one man. He stole a whole bunch of men.
That's right.
I mean, this is just one account. They said 500 at one point he sent over there, but it was thousands that Columbus had stole, man.
That's right. It says, and he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. So there's no getting around that, you know. And there's something that was which we're not probably going, we won't be able to hit it in this lesson. You know, see how the spirit rose. But there's something called the encomienda, which the encomienda was the Spanish form of slavery that was set up here in this so-called Americas. You know,
in the Latin Americas.
Right.
Central America, South America. Basically, and they made it. It was the law. They went basically. They went over there, took their lands. I mean, Lord willing, like the brother said, we're going to it in other shows. You know, you brothers can look up on it. Some of you brothers know about it already. But they just basically see the thing you got to understand, and that's how we know that these other tribes are the tribes, because they suffered the same thing. It's just not publicized as much as Roots
Right.
is per se.
Right, because the Most High wanted, he wanted
Roots and Judah,
Judah,
what happened
Benjamin, and
with Judah,
Levi
yeah.
to really receive first and foremost that whole
Exposure.
recognition
Yep.
and exposure of being the ones that went into slavery.
That suffered,
Okay?
yeah. Okay. Con. And again, it said they selected 500 to be exported to Spain as slaves, 500 to serve as slaves to the Spanish on the island, and the remaining Indians were released. Columbus proudly boasted to the Spanish monarchs about the slave potential and its economic benefits. Columbus captured and exported more Indian slaves, about 5,000.
See, about 5,000. Go ahead.
Than any other single individual.
Which they have on record. They're not talking about the stuff that's off the record. They're talking about the stuff that's on record. So you got to remember that there's a lot of stuff that went on in history among all the tribes that is not even recorded. So this is just stuff that's put down on paper that we know of today, and the Lord made that happen just so we have some type of relics of what happened back then. Go ahead.
On the other hand, Spanish Queen Isabella opposed slavery and returned many slaves to the Caribbean.
Right, but that didn't mean that slavery stopped, and that's what they say in the history.
Right.
You know, it could have went different, but this devil Columbus, he circumnavigated that, and I believe he started sending slaves to Spain. That's why you see a lot of Native American Indians and so-called Latinos and that over there in Europe. You know why? Because their ancestry goes back to a time when they were being shipped over there by the Spaniards.
It's one movie too they got, I think it's Tonto. It might be Tonto. But basically it's a Native American Indian movie, and they show you that how when they brought the Native American Indians over there back to England, and how some of them they broke free and went running wild, you know. They were looking at them as like a spectacle or whatever, you know. They were calling them savages and everything because, you know, the spirit that they had, they was all live running around and shit like that, you know. It's a movie on it. It's an Indian movie. He talks about it a lot too, you know. But basically that movie was based, if you see, I think it's Tonka. It might be Tonka, Tonka. But it's based on
Wonka Tonka?
It's based on a true story.
Okay.
Yeah, I think or Tonto. I'll check it out again.
All right.
But it's based on a true story going back to that history. You know, it ties in. So they do got a lot, you just gotta check for them. They do got certain information
Right.
out. You know, they did certain history movies on these things. You know, it's in the history we're reading it now about Christopher Columbus, the devil that he was.
Yep. So
Right.
everything is out there, man. You know, that's why we tell you, brothers, if you have information, don't be afraid to bring it out. Bring it out. That's the Lord revealing certain things to you. You know, you don't have to wait for certain brothers to bring the information out. You can bring it out. If the Lord reveals to you, bring it out. You know, if the Lord reveals things to you, man, it must mean He loves you.
Yeah.
You know, because the Lord reveals His secrets unto His servants, the prophets. You know, so y'all brothers just keep bringing it out, man. You know, don't worry about it. Just bring it out. It doesn't have to be polished. You may think it ain't coming out right, but the Lord's guiding your mouth. He's guiding your mind. He's guiding your spirit. You know, just bring it out. Go ahead, up.
Right, Kun. It says, right here, yeah, okay, they brought this point out here too. It said, in addition to capturing the Indians as slaves, the Spanish also hunted the Indians for sport and slaughtered them for dog food.
And you see pictures of that all the time of these, they were cutting off the so-called indigenous people, the Israelites that were here. They were cutting their arms off, or they cutting their hands off and their legs and feeding it to the dogs. And they were sicking the dogs on them.
Right.
Matter of fact,
basically they made them bloodthirsty for Indian blood.
Yep.
That's what they trained them to do that.
That's what the devil
just
does.
like they had that movie back in the days. See, it wasn't just you, Judah. They had a movie back in the days called White Dog.
Damn.
Basically, it was a fucking what kind of fucking dog was that, man? I don't know if it was a fucking
Saint Bernard.
a husky, or what do you call them dogs? Them huskies or whatever.
Either half wolf, half dog.
Like it was all white. It was a white dog. And basically, that motherfucker was trained to kill niggas, man. It was a movie they had back in the 70s and shit. They banned this shit from America but it showed you how they trained their dogs to be just as racist as they were. And they did the same thing to the Latin tribes too. They made them bloodthirsty for that Indian blood. You might witness this sometimes. You might go, and I witness this shit, man. I go in certain like Edomites' houses or whatever.
Yeah, the dogs
got demons on them, man.
Yeah, they be
motherfucker be sitting there barking and you know,
trying to snack on
you. And one motherfucker said, yeah, one dog, yeah, he chases black, you know, because the motherfuckers, they train their dogs that way.
Yep.
That's what they ain't just do it to Judah though. They did it to the other tribes as well.
Yeah, and those are them dogs in the reincarnation coming back.
That's
but
right.
I got a quick precept. This is Jeremiah 15:3. And I will appoint over them 4 kinds, saith the Lord: the sword to slay, and the dogs to tear, and the fowls of the heaven and the beasts of the earth to devour and destroy. You know, so that's part of the curses that came upon the nation of Israel. So go ahead, brother. You got more on that?
Yeah, come. It says,
you know, we're gonna get ready to wrap this up. You know, Lord's will, we're gonna come back and do a part 2 because, like we said, there's so much information, man. And you know, you get into it, and then you know, the spirit veers off, you know, into other things, you know. But it's all right though, because it's all the spirit. Okay.
Right, now this is heavy. It says Columbus's legacy in Haiti is an example of 15th century genocide and slavery.
That's right. They brought genocide to this side of the world. What's the word genocide? Gene is your seed, and side is death or to kill. To kill off a seed or to kill off a race. So the genocide was to kill off the race. The race of who? The so-called indigenous people that were here on this side of the world, for the sole purpose of taking their resources, and because it was prophesied in the scriptures that this was going to happen.
But yet they celebrate Columbus.
Columbus Day.
He's held in honor, but he did nothing but commit genocide and murder.
That's right. You know, and like I said, there's so much other information, but we're going to finish this off and then hit a couple of scriptures, and then we're going to end the lesson there. But then, Lord's will, we're going to come back and do another series of it, because this is a lot of information to come out. And you brothers out there that have that information, I keep saying it, don't hold it back. Bring it out, because this stuff is very important. We can't research every single piece of information that's out there. The Lord got all you brothers out there as laborers in the vineyard, as Yahushua said. Pray that the Lord send laborers into his vineyard, for the harvest truly is plenteous, but the laborers are few. So any man that calls himself a part of GMS should be out there laboring. There should be no idle hands. You know, it should be all swinging dicks in the field, you know, so you can understand, all right? You should be out there, man, whether it be in the prone position, the upright position, whatever, out there teaching, you know, bringing this information out, researching whatever the Spirit has you to do. All right? Every swinging dick is in the bush. All right? Go ahead.
By 1516, the Spanish census estimated that there were only 12,000 Native Americans in Haiti, down from an estimated 8 million.
Look at that.
Yeah, they wiped, man. It's fucking double. They saying that they estimate. It's just an estimation.
Right.
Could be more. They said they went from 8 million Native American Indians down there, right, which was the tribes of Israel, to 12,000. From 8. How you go from 8 million to 12,000? That's beyond genocide, man.
That's right.
That's destruction. That's destruction of a nation.
I got a quick precept for you. Job 24:14. The murderer rising with the light killeth the poor and needy, and in the night is as a thief. Right,
and that's Esau. 'Cause Esau was Lucifer, the beacon of light. Because it was, like they said, it was manifest destiny. Manifest destiny. So they, you know, they knew that. Well, they ain't really, but the Mosai was with them.
Yep.
And they rose up, and boy, did they slaughter, man.
They didn't stop.
They didn't stop, brother. That's why the Mosai said he was a little angry with them, with us, but Esau held forward the affliction, man. Because he ain't had no mercy. When they came over here, I mean, they were just killing everybody's innocent people, everybody.
That's why the Lord said they shall have mercy without judgment, that have showed no mercy.
Yeah. Right, so it says,
that's some real quick.
Yep.
Hosea 9:13. Ephraim, as I saw Tyrus, is planted in a pleasant place. That's the land of Puerto Rico, or the island of Puerto Rico. But Ephraim shall bring forth his children to the murderer. That's when they bring them over here to the so-called Americas. Go ahead.
Yep. It says, before the Spanish conquest and 3 million in 1496. This population decline was caused by a combination of factors: diseases